To be shaped in her image, that is the part of a pawn. But my master's image is no longer her own. Defeated by the world steward, she fell into perdition. Having witnessed her fail to achieve her purpose, my breast was filled with regret. Yet amid that darkness, a spark of light too took root. Within my soul, a crude and inchoate mirror to the Arisen's own, new strength emerged. I had awoken to love. I came to notice the changes within me as his tireless ministration saw my shattered memories slowly mend. I came to love him as my master had before me. Then some years later, fate came on dragon's wings to mark him an Arisen, as his master was before him. Though his heart was lost, he seemed more alive than ever. He burned with new purpose to slay the worm and avenge Grete. I became his pawn of my own will. I too saw in this a new calling, to love him, serve him, and lend him strength, ultimately to become as him. It was a fate I welcomed gladly. Defeat me or speak your wish and offer up a sacrifice. A second time I heard the dragon's bargain spoke. Yet I felt a strange reluctance in its tone, as if the ultimatum were given unwilling. And in that moment, I knew it. The worm we now faced was my former master transformed. The revelation tore him apart. Whichever his choice, the wages were cruel tragedy. A new and dark desire poured forth from his sundered soul. His wish for power to destroy all existence marked me for death. And yet I never blamed him. For as my life was snuffed out, I held firm to my belief. The day would come, I knew, when he, our master, and I myself would find redemption.
Still a child, I stood amid the ashes of my village. Through the driving rains, two figures came. One, a woman of golden hair, extended me her hand, perhaps in pity. Grete was the name she gave. A hunter of sorts, she said. Her quarry, the worm. As she spoke, the woman at her side simply stood and watched me, wordless. She was a pawn, come of a different world, the first I had seen. Her air was strange, yet somehow alluring. I chose to join them, this Arisen and her pawn. It seemed that, or stand forever in the ruins of a lost life. They offered no words of invitation, yet neither did they turn me away as I followed. As we traveled, I was taught to fight. Grete was my mentor, my mother. She breathed new life into my parched soul. Then came the day the Huntress found her mark. She left to face the worm. That day's parting proved final. Her pawn returned, alone and scarce alive. Gone was the bold and faithful Myrmidon who had served as Grete's steel. Her empty eyes stared through me now. And what of the worm? Had our mistress felled the beast and stayed calamity? The pawn held no answers. Her mind and soul as broken as her body. Yet no more of the earth was swallowed up. No more was the sky stained black. It seemed the world had been ransomed. Or left at least to fester in the custody of humankind. I was left with a single hope, a single wish. To bring back light to the deadened eyes of a masterless Myrmidon. She was a pawn, I knew it well. Not human, not of this land. And what of it? She bore Grete's mien, her face. Wheel or kneel, I soon found myself in love.
To know the unknown, that was my dream. To walk new frontiers and ancient halls alike, and to see all that this world holds, I was prepared to overcome any obstacle that barred my wandering. And so, when the dragon plucked the heart from my breast, I knew only joy. With new power and ageless life, I was free. I knew no greater treasure than freedom, no higher virtue, and yet, what drove me then to take him with me? What ought have seemed a fetter became my greatest joy, my greatest love. And now, I haven't even the freedom of my own will. I followed the Arisen's path, past the worm and to the halls of the World Steward. And there, my path ended. In defeat, I was remade a dragon. From the moment I donned a dragon skin, I was controlled by a single driving urge. To serve the Seneschal. This one thought consumed me, its pull inexorable. It was a hunger, an instinctual need. I burned for one who would defeat me, who would succeed where I had fallen. I craved the new Arisen. It is man's will that animates him. Can a being devoid of will truly be said to live? Am I alive, as I am now? The will that drives this cursed form to seek the Arisen is not my own. My will, my love, and all I am is crushed beneath its weight. Its force does not allow me even the luxury of regret. I am near drunk with it, though I war against it still with every shred of what once I was. In my final act, as a thinking being, I chose him for my destroyer. The question fell from my lips unbidden. What is your choice? Were it his wish, I would welcome death at his hands. Nay, I desired it. But his wavering gave voice to a new wish. That the world, its gods, and he himself be damned. My rule was set, my actions bound. I existed in that moment solely to give his wishes form. And so I did. I answered his desire, his cry of despair. And his love, my former shadow, was the price. My dreams have died unfulfilled, though I have neither the means to change that fact, nor the free will to mourn them. Perhaps what has transpired will serve some greater use. Let it be as a wedge struck into the chains that bind our endless, hollow world, that those to follow may shatter them. I failed in my quest to explore the unknown, but if it serves some use in ending this cruel cycle, I can believe my life held meaning.
In memory of Gritte, silent-hearted, dragon-forged, with hair of gold and will of tempered steel, you ransomed me from a village burnt to ash, instilled life and fight. Dearest mentor, I commend you now to rest eternal. Your servant, bereft of master and memory, I keep now at my side. She lives on, your mirror in soul and body both, and I will not lose her as we have lost you. This I swear before your empty grave.
Now choose. Stand against me, or speak your wish. Offer your beloved in forfeit, and I shall see your will done.
Choose? How am I to choose? No matter my answer, the price is death. A hollow choice. Who am I to stand as arbiter of two lives? What would you have me do? You brought me here. If this be the will of the gods, the order of the world, then damn the lot of them! I'll tear the whole of it asunder!
Very well. If that be your wish, I shall claim my price.
Stop! No! You have been chosen. So saying, the worm prized the heart from my breast. I was made Arisen, known to the dragon, and bound to hunt it. It is a fate I embrace. What use have I for a heart left hollow? In a world without sweet Grete, my mentor, my mother, my beloved. I live only to see the dragon that claimed her slain. I will see its scaly hide stripped from bone by my hands ere I rest. Arisen, bearer of the dragon's mark, undying corpse, enjoined to make your will manifest. If my voice reaches you, heed me well. The Arisen, the Seneschal, the whole cursed world, all is but an illusion. A meaningless refrain, a hollow echo. What sense is there in giving one's life for these falsehoods? I damn them all, and I will not cease in my destruction until the last senseless cycle is broken, the last bond rent to dust.